Everyone keeps saying France is the team to beat at FIFA 2026. The talent, the depth, the superstars. On paper, they look almost unstoppable. But football has never been won on paper. History has taught us something brutal. The team everyone expects to win usually doesn't, because while the football world focuses on France, another nation has been quietly building something even more dangerous. A team with experience, a team with confidence, a team that already knows exactly how to survive World Cup pressure. And by the end of this video, you might agree that France isn't the biggest favorite anymore. Every World Cup creates one overwhelming favorite. In 2006, it was Brazil. In 2010, Spain. In 2014, Germany. In 2018, France. In 2022, many believed Brazil would finally return to the top. Sometimes the favorites succeed. Many times, they don't. Because the World Cup is unlike any other tournament. 7 matches, tiny margins. 1 mistake, 1 injury, 1 penalty shootout. Everything changes. That's why predicting a champion is so difficult. Right now, most conversations begin with France. They possess one of the deepest squads in international football. Elite attackers, creative midfielders, powerful defenders, world-class goalkeepers. They seem to have everything. But the deeper you analyze FIFA 2026, the more another team begins to stand out. Not because they have the biggest stars, not because they spend the most money, but because they possess qualities that have defined almost every modern World Cup champion. Today we're revealing the 5 reasons why one team may actually be more dangerous than France. And reason number 1 is something very few fans are talking about. They already know how to win. Winning a World Cup changes a team forever. Before becoming champions, players hope they can win. After becoming champions, they expect to win. That difference is enormous. Pressure affects every footballer. Even the greatest players feel it. The noise, the expectations, the weight of an entire nation. Many talented teams collapse because they've never experienced that pressure before. Champions don't panic as easily. They've already survived the hardest moments football can offer. They've played extra time. They've survived penalty shootouts. They've handled global expectations. They've lifted the biggest trophy in sport. That experience cannot be taught. It can only be earned, and that's exactly why this team enters FIFA 2026 with an invisible advantage. When knockout matches become chaotic, when the stadium grows silent, when millions of people are watching, experience becomes priceless. History repeatedly shows that defending champions often remain dangerous because they understand exactly what winning requires. They know how to control emotions. They know how to manage pressure. They know how to survive difficult moments. That psychological edge could become one of the biggest weapons at FIFA 2026. But experience alone doesn't win World Cups. Football changes quickly. Champions who fail to evolve disappear. Which brings us to the next reason, the perfect balance of youth and experience. Most international teams face the same problem. They're either too old or too young. Veteran squads often lose intensity. Young squads often lack composure. Finding the perfect balance is incredibly rare. This team may have found it. Experienced leaders continue guiding the squad. Players who have already conquered world football. Players who understand pressure better than anyone. But surrounding them, a new generation is arriving. Young players entering the best years of their careers. Hungry, fearless, technically gifted, athletically stronger than ever. This creates something every coach dreams about: balance. The veterans provide leadership. The younger players provide energy. The experienced players remain calm during chaos. The younger stars increase the team's speed and intensity. Instead of rebuilding, this squad has evolved naturally. That's incredibly difficult in international football. Many nations spend years searching for a successful transition between generations. Some never find it. This team appears to have managed that transition almost perfectly. By FIFA 2026, many of these younger players will be reaching their absolute peak. Meanwhile, the experienced core still understands exactly what it takes to win football's biggest prize. That combination could become devastating for every opponent. Experience, balance. Those are powerful advantages. But they're still not the biggest reason this team could become unstoppable. Because the next reason has nothing to do with talent. It has everything to do with mentality. Talent wins matches, but chemistry wins tournaments. Every World Cup champion has possessed something statistics can never fully measure: connection, trust, unity. Football may be played by individuals, but trophies are won by teams. Watch the greatest international sides in history. They don't simply pass the ball. They fight for each other. They celebrate together. They defend together. When one player makes a mistake, another player is immediately there to help. That level of trust changes everything, because pressure exposes every weakness. It exposes poor communication. It exposes selfish decisions. It exposes broken dressing rooms. But united teams respond differently. They become stronger. They run farther. They defend harder. They sacrifice more. That's exactly what makes this team so dangerous. They don't rely on one player to solve every problem. Responsibility is shared across the entire squad. Every player understands their role. Every player accepts their responsibility. Every player believes in the system. That's becoming increasingly rare in modern football. Many national teams are collections of superstars. This team feels like something different. It feels like a group of players chasing the same dream. That chemistry doesn't appear overnight. It takes years to build, years of playing together, years of overcoming setbacks, years of creating memories that strengthen belief. When difficult moments arrive, and they always do in a World Cup, chemistry often becomes the deciding factor, because organized teams usually outperform more talented individuals. History has proven that lesson again and again. But chemistry alone isn't enough. There is another reason this team has become even more dangerous. Something psychological, something every opponent can feel before kickoff. Fear changes football. It changes decisions, it changes movement, it changes confidence. For decades, many nations stepped onto the pitch already believing they were underdogs. They respected football's biggest countries so much that they forgot to believe in themselves. But this team doesn't think that way anymore. They've beaten elite opponents. They've survived knockout football. They've lifted the biggest trophy in the sport. Why would they fear anyone now? Confidence is contagious. One victory creates belief. Belief creates momentum. Momentum creates champions. That's exactly what's happening here. Every successful tournament has reinforced one powerful message. We belong here. That mentality changes everything. Instead of reacting to opponents, they impose their own style. Instead of defending deep, they attack with purpose. Instead of hoping for opportunities, they create them, even against the world's strongest teams. This confidence affects every player. The experienced leaders remain calm. The younger players become fearless. The substitutes enter believing they can change matches. Even the coaching staff manages games differently, because belief spreads throughout the entire squad. That's why opponents can no longer rely on reputation alone. A famous badge no longer guarantees victory. A legendary football history no longer intimidates this team. Every match begins at zero. And that's incredibly dangerous for every nation hoping to win FIFA 2026. Because confidence isn't just an emotion, it's a competitive advantage, one that cannot be measured by statistics, but one that wins football matches. Experience, balance, chemistry, fearlessness. Those four qualities already make this team one of the strongest contenders on the planet. But they're still not the biggest reason. Because reason number one isn't about tactics. It isn't about talent. It isn't even about experience. It's about the one quality that separates champions from everyone else: mentality. And that's where this team becomes truly terrifying. This is the biggest reason of all. The one quality that separates great teams from legendary ones. Mentality. Not tactics, not talent, not even experience. Mentality. Football history is filled with incredible squads that should have won the World Cup. Some had better players, some had bigger stars, some were overwhelming favorites. Yet they failed. Why? Because when pressure reached its highest point, their mentality cracked. Champions think differently. When they concede the first goal, they don't panic. When a referee makes a controversial decision, they don't lose focus. When the match reaches extra time, they don't stop believing. That's what separates winners from contenders. This team has developed that mentality over years of success, not through speeches, not through motivation, through experience. Every difficult match has made them stronger. Every comeback has increased their confidence. Every trophy has reinforced one simple belief: we can always find a way. That's incredibly dangerous, because football matches are rarely perfect. Every World Cup produces chaos, unexpected injuries, missed penalties, red cards, late goals, hostile crowds. The question isn't whether those moments will happen. The question is, who handles them better? This team already knows the answer. When everything starts falling apart, they remain calm. When everyone else begins to doubt, they continue believing. That's why opponents find them so difficult to beat. You can stop tactics, you can study formations, you can analyze statistics, but it's much harder to defeat a team that genuinely believes it will win. Mentality doesn't guarantee trophies, but every champion possesses it. And right now, very few nations possess it as strongly as this one. That's what should worry every other contender heading into FIFA 2026. So, let's recap. Why might this team actually be more dangerous than France? Number 5. They already know exactly what it takes to win football's biggest prize. Number 4. They've built the perfect balance between experienced leaders and fearless young stars. Number 3. Their chemistry makes them play like a family, instead of a collection of individuals. Number 2. They no longer fear any opponent, no matter how famous the badge or how talented the squad. And number 1. A champion mentality that refuses to break under pressure. Those 5 qualities cannot guarantee another World Cup. Nothing can, because football has never been predictable. One mistake, one injury, one moment of brilliance can change everything. That's why the World Cup remains the greatest sporting event on earth. France remains one of the strongest teams in the world. Nobody should underestimate them. Their squad is incredible, their depth is unmatched, and they absolutely have everything needed to lift the trophy. But football isn't played on paper. It's played under pressure. It's played in moments of uncertainty. It's played by players who must make impossible decisions in front of millions of people. That's where mentality becomes more valuable than talent. That's where experience becomes more valuable than hype. And that's why one nation may actually enter FIFA 2026 as the most complete team on the planet. Not because they're perfect, but because they've already proven they know how to survive the moments that destroy everyone else. The scary truth is, the team nobody can stop at FIFA 2026 might not be France. It might be the defending champions. And if history repeats itself, the rest of the football world could be chasing them all over again. Now I want to hear your opinion. Who do you believe is the biggest favorite for FIFA 2026? France, Argentina, Spain, Brazil, or another nation entirely? Tell me your prediction in the comments below. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to subscribe for more FIFA 2026 predictions, football documentaries, tactical analysis, and World Cup stories every week. Because as the road to FIFA 2026 continues, football's biggest surprises may still be ahead of us. Thanks for watching.